G'day there guys, my girlfriend is cheating on me with my dad and I don't know what to do. Oh my god! It's Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. If you enjoy this content, I want you to personally sit back, relax, tell me what you think of it in the comments, and personally enjoy this episode. And please don't cheat on me again with my dad, I can't handle it. Posted by user ThrowRA Knowledge. Titled, My girlfriend tried to push me off a cliff as a joke. So, my girlfriend, 20 female, is completely crazy, but mostly in a good way. Spontaneous is an understatement. Sometimes she goes too far, but I love her for her crazy personality. I, 18 male, am more relaxed and we balance each other out. Two recent incidents really freaked me out though, and I need advice. I was driving on the highway with a lot of traffic. We were going maybe 40 miles per hour, and she suddenly started tickling me and wouldn't stop when I yelled at her. I jammed on the brake and someone almost hit us from behind. I asked her what the F is wrong with her, but she just laughed about it and told me to chill. I said, "What would make you want to do that?" And she said, "I don't know, just felt like it." Then last Saturday, I was hiking with her, and I was standing near this steep cliff. I'm usually very wary of her because you never know what she's going to do, even though it's usually just a prank or something. I let my guard down, and she went behind me and pushed me toward the cliff, and I swear I almost fell off. She did it hard, and I ended up right at the edge. She was laughing so hard. I freaked out and started screaming at her, and I may have been out of line, but holy crap. She laughed about it at first, but then she started crying and saying that she was sorry. The next day she started texting me saying that she didn't mean any harm, and she just didn't know that I would get so mad at her for doing that. Am I crazy for even thinking about this? Is it possible she's just immature, and if I get back with her she'll be different? I'm kind of lonely, and I really love her, but this just really made me rethink the situation, because now I feel like she's legit crazy, not just fun crazy. Thank you for your advice. My advice is, never stick your dick in crazy. You're 18, there's time to learn about it, and look, it almost killed you. Your girlfriend has a serious problem, especially seeing you say that she gave an allergic friend nuts because she thought she was funny is just frightening. This is not normal. This isn't even considered crazy personality. She has serious mental health issues that need to be professionally addressed. I'd be worried she's a sociopath. She obviously enjoys endangering other people's life to the point that she keeps doing it over and over again. One day she will actually kill someone. Yeah, this seems like someone who pushes boundaries for fun and their own enjoyment. It seems like she was only sorry because she was getting yelled at, not because she realized how dangerous that was. Trying to feed someone a nut they're allergic to is like subtly attempting to murder. What the F is wrong with her? Or that she was only sorry because she knew that was the only way to keep OP around for her next attempt at murdering him. I could be reading too much into it, but OP said, saying that she didn't mean any harm and she just didn't know that I would get so mad at her. Sounds like she didn't apologize for doing any of these things. She apologized for getting caught. Bruh, she tried to kill you, twice, then proceeded to laugh about it. The next time you might not be here to tell the story. Some things you can forgive, and some things you can still forgive, but are obligated to walk away. You are obligated to you to walk away. Just walk backwards so that you would face her all the time. Better yet, run. Run backwards, but not near any cliffs or in a car or with scissors. A friend of mine died while camping when he tripped on a rock and fell off a cliff. He was an organ donor, and his body was so mangled that they couldn't even salvage his eyes. Cliffs are no joke. You came dangerously close to falling off the cliff, and her response is, she didn't know you would get mad about pushing you? That's the wrong thing to be sorry about. Both the examples you mentioned were dangerous for the people around her, namely you, and in the case of the car driving, also the person behind you. And then you mentioned even a third example where she knowingly gave nuts to a person who has a nut allergy just to see the ensuing chaos. The fun and games and spontaneity that you like so much about her was actually just showing a side of her that she can't seem to control, even to the possible detriment of you and the people around her. She sounds like someone who doesn't think about the consequences. Most people grow out of this by the time they're adults. I'm a super careful person, so people like this piss me off to no end. Update: my girlfriend tried to push me off a cliff as a joke. So I've been thinking a lot, and I decided that I'm ending my relationship with her. This isn't easy for me, and it's hard because I've been with her for almost 2 years. But it's even harder because now I feel a ton of guilt myself as I remembered things that I ignored, and how I was only worried about her after I became the victim. I mentioned that point in the other thread, but I feel even worse about it now. I know I was stubborn in the last thread, but I listened to everyone's advice very carefully. You all helped so much. When people brought up the sadism aspect, it sort of clicked. I don't know if it was stupidity or selfishness, but I didn't think of her that way until this week. I just ignored everything that she did. I thought about some memories using this new perspective. I remember early this year, her dad got her a job at the front desk at this apartment complex. It's hard to explain this place because it was sort of a luxury place, and most apartments aren't like this, but I was there once or twice to pick her up, and I remember what the building looked like. There were a lot of older people living there, and right near the entrance of the building there was an elevator which only went up. Then there was the main elevator, which was kind of far down a long hallway. She had to call that first elevator down after the person was approved to go into the building. One time, me and her were smoking and just chilling, talking about stuff. She was laughing to me about how she would sometimes disable the up elevator and pretend it was out of order. And then she'd watch these older and handicapped people walk down the long hallway to get to the main elevator. She got fired pretty quickly anyway, because she activated the fire alarm when there was no fire. When they asked her what happened, she pretended that the computer was glitching and she couldn't stop it. But they believed she did it on purpose, so they fired her. I'm sure some people could have been injured during the chaos. I guess the alarm must have disabled the elevators, so everyone had to grab their stuff and run down the stairs as quickly as possible. I can imagine all these elderly people just going down so many flights of stairs. I don't think anyone was injured, but they did fire her, and maybe they're still investigating. I don't know if it could help, but I'm gonna call that place and tell them what she told me, and how she admitted to pulling the alarm on purpose. That will help my conscience out a lot. Like I said, I feel terrible about ignoring this stuff. You might think I'm an idiot or a terrible person myself. I don't know what to say, but when I really thought about this stuff, I decided I couldn't be with her. I know people will criticize me and that's fine. This is an update, but also a confession to be honest, because I have to get that off my chest. And there is a bunch of other stories too that she told me or that I saw myself. I enjoyed her craziness to be honest, even though I was always on edge, but I thought of it as her being fun and spontaneous instead of sadistic. I guess I'm pretty weird myself. I responded to her texts this morning because she was starting to get angry and was sending a lot more texts. I told her I was really sick and she shouldn't be near me, but that we might be able to hang out again in a week or two. I said I wasn't mad at her anymore and I just didn't respond because I was sick. I just told her that to get her off my back and to give myself time to prepare for the breakup because I don't know how she's going to react and I want to be safe. For example, she has the keys to my house and I'm living with other people including kids, so I want to change the locks and make sure that we're not tied together in any other ways before I do an official breakup. Do you think that's a smart idea? I could use any advice on the best way to do a breakup in this situation because I'm kind of worried. Once again, thank you so much for all your advice last time and have a good day. For example, she has keys to my house and I'm living with other people including kids, so I want to change the locks and make sure we're not tied together in any other ways before I do an official breakup. Definitely do this, 100%. If you are renting, notify your landlord. If you own the property, we paid to have our household rekeyed when we bought it, and I think it cost us $150. She sounds crazy, so definitely get your ducks in a row before you drop the hammer. Tell your roommates about what's going on. At least to the point that you are breaking up and she is no longer allowed around the apartment. If she gets crazy over text, save copies. Definitely never be alone with her again. I'd recommend not even seeing her in person unless it's absolutely necessary. No shame in breaking up with her over the phone if you think she'll be unpredictable or violent. Also, freeze your credit reports in case she knows your information. Yes, definitely change your locks. You might want to look into getting some cheap security cameras for outside too. Tell your roommates, family, any mutual friends that you are breaking up and don't want them to help her contact you. You don't owe her anything here. She's literally tried to kill you. Don't feel bad at all if you decide to break up with her by text or email. It might even be a good idea, because then if she replies and threatens to escalate, you have it in writing. Make sure to specify that you don't want any contact with her going forward. If you do decide to break up in person, for the love of all that's holy, do it in a public place. Honestly, I hope he doesn't even do that either. I hope he just ghosts. Too many people in abusive relationships assume public breakups are safe. Too many domestic violence homicides still occur in public, and even worse. Additional innocent people sometimes are killed too. And OP says, I'm gonna do it via text. Keep records of any communication she sends. Take screenshots, print off messages, make other people aware of what is going on. If push comes to shove, and it has to be your word against hers in some crazy situation, or you need a protective order or anything like that, you will be prepared to protect yourself instead of having to scramble later. It's better to have the info and not use it than the other way around. Also, this limits her ability to lie or cover anything up later. Yeah, always let others know what's going on in a situation like this, and I hope you'll be able to change all the methods of her contacting you. She doesn't sound like a safe person to be around. Absolutely change your locks. Your soon-to-be ex is a very dangerous person. You need to do everything you can to be safe and protect yourself. Be supremely cautious in the next couple weeks while you prepare your exit strategy. If she texts, answer her as you normally would. Try to keep her from becoming suspicious. It was very smart to give yourself those couple of weeks. I know this might not be what you want to hear, but call the domestic abuse hotline. Tell them your story. I think it'll be very eye-opening for you. They will also have ideas and resources they can point you to help keep you safe. And finally, don't beat yourself up too much. It's easy to put blinkers on when it comes to the people we love. I can guarantee you that your girl manipulated you and trickle-dropped her crazy. What I mean by that is that I'm sure that she only shared the smallest portion of her actions and tried to mask them behind laughter and jokes. Your lack of reaction can also be a protective response. From what you've said in your posts, you've always been on guard around her. That's exhausting on many levels and could lead to you just being relieved that you weren't on the receiving end of her sadism. You spent so much time around her, with such a high level of alertness and with so much adrenaline flowing, that there would be a moment of pure relief when she was cruel to someone else. It wasn't you, so you were okay. It's not the nicest reaction, but when you're in that kind of situation, it's the one that your brain goes into to protect yourself. I think if you look back on your time with her, you'll probably find other moments where you were distinctly unsafe around her. It just so happens that you had your eyes sharply opened to what was really happening. All that being said, be careful going forward and please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. The number is 1-800-799-7233, or there's one specifically geared towards men if you prefer. The number for that one is 1-888-743-5754. It really will help, and be safe. And OP says, hey, thanks so much for that advice. I hadn't thought of treating it as domestic violence, and I might do that. And yeah, the way you described the adrenaline mixed with relief, that's how I felt a lot of the time. One or two of those feelings. Thanks for the comment. Final update, my girlfriend tried to push me off a cliff as a joke. Well, it's over. I officially broke up with her. I sent a short text earlier today. I wasn't mean, I just said it wasn't working out and we should both move on. She was surprisingly very understanding. She was emotional at first, but I know, despite our differences, that she does love me. When she saw how I felt, and when we talked about it in more detail, she was convinced that the breakup was the best for both of us. We talked on the phone, and I could tell that her feelings were 100% genuine. I know her so well, and I'm really gonna miss her. Before this conversation, though, I did a bunch of stuff just in case something went wrong. I tried to change the locks, but I didn't want to tell my parents about this because I knew they'd get ticked at me. I couldn't do it without their permission, but now I see that it was unnecessary to do it. I also told some friends what was going on, changed my passwords, and I tried to close one bank account that we both have access to. It didn't work, but whatever. It doesn't matter now anyway, since she's being so good about all of this. I'm so happy that it's over, and that we won't have any major problems. She reminded me about an old Chromebook that she had left at my house. It's been there for months, and I forgot all about it. That's the only valuable thing she has in this house, but she's going to come over in an hour or two and pick it up. Then we'll say our final goodbyes. While she's here, she's going to give me back the house key. I told her I needed it to give to a neighbor. I won't lie, I cried earlier today, and I'm still very emotional. I know this is the right thing, but it's so hard. I could have left the Chromebook outside the house or mailed it to her, or whatever, but I want to see her one more time. I want to hug her again. She loves my little bro, and he's always so excited to see her. I want her to make him laugh one more time. I just want a proper goodbye and to make sure we're on good terms. The last time I saw her in person, I was furious and she was crying. I have ended the relationship. I won't go back now, but I can't leave it like it was. After today, it'll be no contact. I'll update you when it's over, just so you have the full story of how exactly it went. To address some other stuff, I mentioned in the last thread that I was going to report her to her former workplace for how she admitted to abusing those handicapped people and pulling the fire alarm. I decided against it because she's already been fired, and I'm pretty sure the management of that place has moved on. I don't want to report her for trying to push me off the cliff either, because it might just make her seek revenge in some way. A lot of people wanted me to find the allergic person who she gave nuts to and file a report about that, but I don't even know that person's name. She might not have even told me, but I don't remember anyway. I have a lot of incidents that I could go to the police with, but honestly, I'm so happy that our breakup will be smooth, and I don't want to make it worse. Maybe I'm selfish, but at least for now, I'm gonna avoid taking legal action. Also, in all honesty, I don't think she's too far gone. I think she can change, and I hope she does, and doesn't need to get in trouble to become a better person. I know she can do it because deep down, she is a good person like we all are. Thanks for all the support. What a crazy time in my life, but I'm glad that I got past it. I appreciate everyone's help so much, and I couldn't have done this without all of your advice. I just can't thank you enough. Why I got a feeling like this ain't over? Anyone? I agree. This girl is a psycho, and for some reason he wants to paint her as not being a bad person. OP is letting her off easy, and I think a couple of sweet words and "I'm a changed person" will suck him right back in. Honestly, he might already be dead. I think his ex-girlfriend wrote this post. It's all pretty sus. Either that, or she knows she reached his limits. Abusers will limit test early in a relationship to see how much they can get away with. The more self-aware ones will be very cordial and helpful during the breakup process because they don't want to be in a relationship with someone who will stand up for themselves, and they want to make sure that you believe in the mask and not the person behind it. She won her job security by being kind. Abusive people absolutely see the value in kindness and generosity. It helps them hide. If I wanted to lull someone into a false sense of security, I'd sound understanding and reasonable too. And she might well be right now. Watch yourself if you get into a new relationship, OP. People like that turn on a dime, and it often ends badly. Don't wait till something worse happens to take action. Best of luck. If I was a sociopath, got my kicks out of harming people, and my boyfriend just dumped me, I would be oh so sweet and understanding too. Remind him that I have stuff that I need to pick up and would like to see him in person. Gives the perfect opportunity to get in there and F him up. I really hope this scenario doesn't happen to him and he can get out of this relationship in one piece. Me too. Plus, he's already stated that she waited till he let his guard down to try and push him off a cliff. How could you sleep at night knowing that she might have made a copy of your key? No, no, no. I feel like OP is still in the denial stage of grief. His ex-girlfriend seriously is not a good person, he just wants her to be, because the idea of having knowingly dated an evil person, or maybe just sociopathic person, is understandably a hard pill to swallow. OP, I'd still report her. Even if she's already been fired, you don't necessarily know why she was fired. If it was for an unrelated issue, the management may want to know what else she'd done so they can follow up and make sure that those people are okay. Choosing not to report her is placing her well-being over the well-being of people that she knowingly hurt. Also, I seriously doubt someone can knowingly abuse handicapped people and be a good person at the same time. You'll still be grieving, so you probably haven't finished processing all of your feelings, but please stop making excuses for this woman. She also needs help, and reporting her isn't about getting her into trouble, it's about getting the help that she needs but won't get for herself. Agreed. If something like this happens again, there will be a paper trail and something can actually be done about it instead of a simple fine or slap on the wrist. OP, I know you think she won't, but please don't be alone with this person when you meet. Someone who finds joy in others' misery won't discriminate when they need to feel better. Please still change the locks, and please at least report her antics to the police. This post is the precursor to a murder. I don't think we are going to hear from OP again. I hope I'm wrong. And you know what, guys? OP has not commented on anything, hasn't updated, hasn't said anything since posting this post. So, I guess we won't know. It's a mystery. Alright, that's where I think I'm going to end today's episode, guys. As always, I really do hope you learned something or just really enjoyed the posts that were put up today. Quick shout out to all my new and existing Patreon and channel members. You should be able to see your name on screen right now, and if you don't, then I don't think you're part of the club, and you really should join the club because it's a great club. And I want to thank every single one of you guys for supporting me in this journey. It really means so much to me, and I love you all so much for it. Thank you for helping me out. As you can tell, I'm now happy and healthy back in Australia. Thank God it's not cold like Ireland. I don't like wearing jumpers everywhere. I prefer the heat. Thank you very much. I know that's an unpopular opinion. Anyway, guys, I really do hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you later. Bye.